Colin Chapman was a man who had a different view on things. He never played by other people's rules. He invented his own, especially when it came to his cars. And this different approach he instilled into the company he founded, Lotus. Chapman was a genius. He changed car design and motor racing forever. His principle was to add speed, add lightness, and he made his cars more agile and efficient when everyone else was simply adding more power to go faster. It was a very different approach. And then Chapman's cars started winning. And he didn't stop there. His team pioneered the monocoque chassis, aerofoil wings and ground effect, changing Formula One forever. His cars attracted drivers such as Clark, Moss, Hill, Andretti and Senna. They knew that Lotus cars held true to Chapman's original beliefs, and they had what was needed to win. All of this racing heritage gave Lotus a unique advantage on the road. You see, Chapman knew a driver needs to feel connected. He wants feedback and control. He wants instant response. He wants precision and agility. He wants the power to accelerate and the instant power to stop. Chapman had a unique view of the two-way relationship between man and machine, and that understanding became the foundation of his company. This foundation made Lotus a winner. 7 Formula One World Championships, IndyCar, Saloon Car, Rallying, Le Mans. The green and yellow colours have mastered them all. And the founding principles have stayed with Lotus. Lotus is always true, always exciting, always original. And today, Colin Chapman's legacy remains, forming the foundation for the future of Lotus. And the future starts here. Thanks, Colin.
Hi, and welcome to the review of my MK Indy. I thought long and hard about how I was going to do this review and what I was going to say. It's not the same as doing a review for a mass-produced car, where one review relates to all of them. All of these cars are one-offs, built by an individual, so a review of this car may vary from another MK Indy review. But that's what makes these cars interesting. Now, the introduction talked about Colin Chapman's legacy, and any Caterham owner will tell you the 7 and Chapman's legacy is the domain of Caterham. Well, in real terms, Lotus and Caterham is the correct bloodline for 7s, and I'm not here to challenge that. My take on the Chapman legacy is the relationship between car and driver, and I found in driving many of these individual 7 derivative machines that they all capture this philosophy in their own way. So, enough waffling on. Here is my review of the Indy. Whether you already have a kit car, are an interested onlooker that dreams of building or owning one, or just surfing YouTube and you've stumbled across this video, I hope you like it. Leave me feedback if you want to know anything specific in the comments section, and I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, enjoy. When I decided to do this review of the car, I clearly didn't think it through. Here we are in early February, and this one of the wettest winters in living memory, and people and property at the mercy of the weather, and here I am in a car with no roof, windscreen or heater. So, here's the first thing to say in this review. None of that matters, because two things will keep you warm regardless of the weather. The first one is obvious, appropriate clothing. Ask any motorcyclist, who are more exposed than I am by the way, and they will tell you, as I do, to wear the right clothes. Layers or electric, you can keep warm regardless of what the weather throws at you. The second thing that will keep you warm is the adrenaline you generate when you drive the car. This Indy has 175 brake horsepower and is moving a mass of about 590 kilos. That's enough to keep you grinning from here to there. You saw in the history timeline montage that the car has evolved over the last 3 years since I put it on the road. Another top tip, these cars tend to do that. Well, okay, the owners tend to do that. I mentioned earlier about individualism in these cars. Even more so if you buy one. You want, need to make it your own. So, the Indy. Well, the Indy has been around for quite some time, and the original chassis was designed by Martin Keenan, MK. This car is a 2003 chassis, so the original design. It bears a resemblance to the Haynes Roadster chassis, which is no coincidence, as Martin is associated with that as well. The components for this car are based on the Ford Sierra, which means, working from the back, a 7-inch Ford IRS diff. This one's fitted with a 392 Quaife ATB limited slip diff. The transmission is a standard Ford Type 9 5-speed box, and as I said before, the engine is a Ford 2-litre blacktop Z-Tech with a lightened flywheel. Worthy of note, the engine is a crate Z-Tech, which means it was new when I bought it. The market was flooded with these engines a few years ago when Ford manufactured a lot and then went a different way, so pushed them to the aftermarket. This inexpensive engine became the engine of choice in this sector of the market, with 135 brake horsepower straight out of the crate. Which brings me to the ancillaries. As I said, this car puts out 175 brake horsepower, and that is developed through the introduction of Gen V independent throttle bodies, an Emerald K6 ECU, and a custom Ford 2-into-1 exhaust. To help the engine fit neatly into the car, it has a raceline baffled sump and a raceline water rail. So, what does that translate into on the road? Well, this car has the advantage of being properly set up. It also has excellent rubber in the form of Toyo R1Rs. This car does a lot of miles each year, and with the exception of the 2 previous upgrades around Christmas time, it's a year-round car. It covers some significant touring miles, and is well mannered and very drivable in all road conditions. The ride is firm, but surprisingly not harsh, thanks in the main to the ProTech adjustable dampers at each corner. The power feeds in beautifully thanks to the superb Emerald ECU mapping. This car carries 2 engine maps, which are switchable from the dashboard. Full track black map and an economy map. In reality, there's very little difference other than I can eke out about 40 miles to the gallon on the lane map with the aid of a light right foot. Perfect for touring. On track, the car is well mannered, predictable and as agile as it is on the road. Colin would be pleased. The grip through corners is staggering, although it does run out of steam at about 125, 130. But given your face is in the airflow, it feels much quicker than that at speed. I drive this car almost every day, and in 3.5 years, and the best part of 30,000 miles, I still smile every time I get into it. So what's it like to own an Indy? Well, MK sports cars are a good set of people and always supportive. Specialist insurance keeps the costs down, and if you're a member of a club, there's sometimes further discounts to be had. Club membership also gives you access to people with huge experience and can be a great source of help in any circumstance, as well as a way of sharing your hobby with the like-minded. I'll pop contact details at the end of the review for both MK Sports Cars and Southern Kit Car Club, SKCC, so you can check them out if you're serious about finding out more. So to conclude, before I cut away to the obligatory driving montage set to music, the Indy in this form without a windscreen, a heater or weather protection isn't a daily driver. It's a toy. Not in a bad way, but it may not be for everyone. I hope this review does show that it can be a year-round car if you want it to be, and it can certainly cope with all weather conditions. But if you don't like raw meat and you like it cooked with a garnish, it may not be for you. Here's the thing though, you can build an Indy or any kit car and make it suit you and your circumstances. It's still your individual car and is a reflection of you, and just like you, when your mood or circumstance changes, then your car can change too. See you out here.
You see that mountain over there? Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna climb that mountain.
There's a cold east glow dancing over our street. Could have chased it down, could have held you on, but wouldn't you think of me weak? Well, I should know how the streets come in.